Alright guys, so I'm going to be LOOKSMAXXing some of my followers using FaceIQ Labs software. The link is in the description if you want to try this out yourself. If you want to be featured in the next video, DM me on Discord. I'll also put that on in the description. So let's get right to it. So for the first guy, we have this Middle Eastern dude, a 4.06 below average harmony. That's around my harmony score as well. As you can tell just by looking at his pictures, he's not a bad looking guy, okay? His side isn't the best, obviously. There's clear recession, okay? I don't even need a map that. You can see the way the chin is protruding and the way his nose over projects like that. So let's look at his front ratios. His face to width height ratio is the biggest flaw with 1.68. The ideal being 190 to 2.06. So he has a long mid face. Alright, and that's actually pretty common for someone of his ethnicity, okay? A lot of Middle Eastern people usually have long mid faces. And part of that is usually because of the long nose that most Middle Eastern people have. And also, he doesn't really have much zygomatic definition. So maybe if his zygos were a bit wider, a bit more pronounced, he could get some more width going on. It still wouldn't be ideal, but you know, it would definitely help. His cheekbone height is 67.84%. For context, I have about 61% cheekbone height, so very, very low set cheekbones. Now, just because you have low set cheekbones doesn't mean you're automatically ugly, okay? There's a lot of moggers out there. For example, there's Johnny Depp, who does have mid to low set cheekbones. He looks great. He looks awesome. He looks attractive. So, you know, not the biggest flaw in the world, but it does give that sort of droopy kind of look. Moving on, his top third. He has a very short top third. Now, this could be my fault because we can't really see the hairline. It could be a little higher, probably up over there. So that could be my fault. I think his top third is probably fine if I had to guess. But moving on, his lateral canthal tilt. So his canthal tilt is pretty neutral. Okay, one is slightly more positive than the other. It's not the biggest flaw. Okay, having a neutral canthal tilt is fine. It's not really a phthalo. It'll be fine. So that's not really big of an issue. Okay. Some of his strengths: good neck width, good lower lip to upper lip ratio. I feel like his upper lip could be okay. Apparently his lower lip is too thin. I was gonna say his upper lip could be a little bit more upwards, but okay, so this is lower lip. His mouth width to nose width ratio. This is good. However, I would say his nose is a bit more on the bulbous side. So if his tip was slightly more defined, it would look a lot more better. Ipsilateral alar angle, good. If we just go down here, as you can see, ideal jaw width, fine nasal tip, ideal nose width, pretty decent front. His side, we already know, very recessed. All right, he fails the upper S line position, fails the submental region. We can see basically this guy has like zero hyoid. Okay. Lower lip S-line position, upper lip E-line position, his nasal frontal angle. He's pretty much missing a good brow ridge, a good defined brow ridge. He has that dorsal hump, which is pretty common in people who are recessed. A lot of people are like, oh, it's genetic. It can be genetic, but most of the time it's also because of recession. So I'm going to morph this dude, and I'll give surgery advice and just overall softmaxing advice as well. Alright guys, so before I show you the morph, I just want to let you know that morphs will always look uncanny. It'll never look perfect, but you know, just take my advice with a grain of salt. Obviously, talk to a medical professional first. Nonetheless, let's see his morphed front profile. Boom. Okay. So some key differences you can already tell off the bat. We have a much more outward gonian, okay, more pronounced zygos, a slightly shortened nose. Now, when you shorten up the nose to try and make the midface look less tall, the philtrum increases. And in order to balance out his philtrum to chin ratio, we want to increase the length of the chin. So as you can tell, the chin was length. It's a lot more squared off. Some slight adjustments to his eyebrows. Okay, I made them a lot more low set, and I also increased his canthal tilt. As far as his side profile goes, this is by far the biggest difference. We've basically fixed his ramus to mandible. Okay, I increased the projection of his chin. I gave himself a straighter nose as well as a much more defined brow ridge, and his maxilla is a bit more protruding now. So if you were to map this out, you can kind of already tell he would have decent facial convexity. So from his nasion and then from his glabella to there to there. Okay. Yeah, it seems ideal. It seems about like 170, 175 maybe. So as far as surgeries go, if you're watching this right now and you are this guy, I highly recommend you get Trimax, okay, because your side profile is very recessed. So definitely one of your biggest flaws. It definitely improve your front as well. It'll make it, it'll help with your long mid face. You should probably look into a rhinoplasty, only because you have that really droopy nose. You have that dorsal hump, which is a clear sign of recession. And you don't really need to look into a brow ridge implant, but if you're really picky on that, I probably would. So, alright, so for our next guy, we have this African American male who's actually fairly handsome. He has pretty decent skin quality. Let's unlock his score. 5.13, okay, so he's pretty average looking, top 40%. Let's take a look at his biggest flaw. Lower third proportion. So his philtrum is probably, actually no, his chin. His chin is too small for his philtrum. He's low-key frauding with that goatee. But that's a pretty smart soft max, so if your chin is small, it's fraud with the goatee, man. Facial width to height ratio, a long mid face. Now, I think his nose could be pulled down a little bit more, so it could probably be a little bit closer to like over here. That we could fix that with the morph. Chin to philtrum, weak/soft jaw structure, long upper jaw. Yeah, so this guy has a short chin. His philtrum doesn't look too long to me, but honestly, we could also fix that too. So, cheekbone height, 74.60. Not the worst that I've seen. Okay, mine are like 60, 61, so. Yeah, honestly, like, he has a very good base though, and he's pretty much soft maxed to his genetic potential. Lower lip S-line position, he fails that. Lower lip E-line position, he also fails that. Basically, a lot of black people, they suffer from something called, I think it's called prognathism or something like that. Like, your skull is prognathic. Basically, you have maxillary protrusion and your chin is protruding, okay? So this could be easily fixed either by pushing the maxilla back, which I don't recommend, or you could also move your chin more forward, move the mandible more forward, sort of fix that look. But in this case, since his philtrum isn't really curved, it's curved outwards. Ideally, it should be curved inwards. You might need to protrude the maxilla just a little bit. So yeah, his major flaws are just, the maxillary protrusion and nasal width height ratio. His nose is too protrusive. Honestly, I think that could be fixed by 1, lengthening the nose, and 2, if we just fix the overall angle or the overall recession, it'll fit a lot more on his face. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we have the front morph. Not much has changed actually. So all I did was I made his nose a little bit less bulbous from the tip. I also slightly lengthened his nose. I also lengthened his chin, okay? So this sort of fixes his chin to philtrum ratio. I made the eyebrows slightly more low set. Honestly, this guy has a really good base. Like, he's pretty attractive for a black man. Like, he has modeling potential in my opinion. So moving on to the side, as you can see, we increased the brow ridge. Okay, the nasal projection, all of that stayed the same. Technically, since I lengthened the nose from here, the nose would also be lengthened like this from the front. Do I recommend it? It doesn't really matter. Okay, we fixed this facial recession. All right, so basically I made the philtrum a bit more curved, okay, less outwards. and more inwards. We push the mandible and the chin, rabbits do the same. Boom, he looks a lot more better. So honestly, I think he shouldn't touch anything in his upper third. His main flaws are in his lower third. So definitely look into some kind of genioplasty or some kind of like, double jaw surgery probably, just to fix that. That. So that's it for today, guys. If you want to be featured in the next video, go to my Discord in the description. Message me there, and I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can. Bunny Kid 12 out.